And now I'm honored to introduce the speakers of the welcoming session. I would start with rector of Politecnico of Torino, Mr. Guido Saracco. Thanks for being here. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
You can go there.
Well, welcome also from my side, because Politecnico is just around the corner, close by this wonderful location. We deliver engineers, architects, designers, and urban planners to the world, really to the world. And we are nowadays delivering a strategic plan which puts a lot of emphasis on education change for the future. Actually, one of the first things I got acquainted with was the fact that most of my engineers do not stay here in this region, do not stay in this country, but tend to go to multinational companies because they are, I would say, overqualified from one point of view, too rigid from another point of view, unable to work immediately in small, medium enterprises or real life. We are thinking of fluidizing their education pathway by putting more soft skills, by emphasizing team working, the ability to cooperate with different disciplines, and more laboratories, more learning by doing. And this is basically what the best technical universities are currently thinking of. I'm talking about MIT, I'm talking about Tsinghua in China. Actually, we need to shape in a different way the education pathway. From another viewpoint, this country, as opposed to other countries in Europe like Germany or Switzerland, do not have a credible professional training, the so-called Fachhochschule, German Fachhochschule. Training professionally people that after 3 years, after the high schools, can get immediately into companies. Well, this region, my university is trying to set up an alliance with all the private institutions in this area to fill this gap. That is a painful gap with the rest of Europe. We have 10 to 15 less graduated people compared to the average of Europe, and this is also another missing point in Italy. That's really interesting to notice that the type of education for this Fachhochschule type, new engineers, professionalized, I would say, is exactly going in the direction of team working, stages in companies, soft skills learning, and a bit less of hard sciences. But in this matching between us and the current educational pathways from private foundations in this area, they also are growing. They also are changing their current pathway because they were completely missing basic sciences there. But you need some, at least, of basic sciences as a tool for the future. I totally agree with what I listened. You are going to learn for your entire life, and you need some tool to understand the changing world. I'm quite optimistic that in this region, in my university, in these alliances, we are setting up a new educational arena that is coping with this mandate. And I'm pleased to be at the front end of this worldwide. This university, Politecnico, is dating back to 1855. So for 160 years, we have been educating engineers in a very sharp, reliable manner, but we need to change. MIT was created in 1861, 2 years later. That is the only case where we are in front of them, unfortunately. But we are sharing the same ideas on how to evolve, which does not mean to change completely the paradigm of education. We don't want to start from the problems right from the beginning. We need some tools. And we need to enrich these tools, adding to hard sciences, human and social sciences. But then emphasize not only technology, but also team working, cooperation among different disciplines in solving problems, and creating something new, innovation. Train to innovate. It's also unacceptable that my engineers get out of the university after 7 years. Too long time, especially for rigid people that need a couple of additional years in multinational companies to become really powerful, devastating workers. I would like my engineers to shift from a nerd-type engineer with thick spectacles, losing hair. Unfortunately, I'm an engineer, as you can see, and working in their office in a reliable manner to something fascinating, to some fascinating guy or lady that can talk to people, can communicate essential stuff in nowadays world, and can work in team to solve problems. Having both the tools to understand the world and the tools to provide solutions. So thank you very much for being here. It's been an honor to be introducing this workshop, and I look forward to hear for the outcomes of what is coming out for your discussions. Thank you very much.